I got a new toy. It's pretty cool. I can put words on it.
Cool.
And they might be backwards, I'm just thinking to you now, actually.
No, it's the right way around for us. We can sit Twin Skies poetry. Very nice. So please give a big fire and dust welcome, if he's ready, to Adam Wyeth.
Thanks very much, Rafe, and lovely to be here. And I'm actually not in Cork at the moment. I came on the Cork side, although I'm English. I've lived in Cork for 15 years, and I've been in Dublin for the last 5 years. And I'm actually just using my phone coverage. I'm on Achill Island, which is on the west of Ireland, which is a beautiful place. And I'm just back from the beach, and unfortunately, Paul reminded me of this evening. But it's lovely to be here, and I have really fond memories of the Coventry Exchange. I went with Kathy Darcy and Cal Doyle, I believe in 2012. Paul might correct me on that, but it was sometime around 2012, I think, maybe 2013, and we had a really amazing time. I remember taking Cal and Kathy to a tea shop in Stratford-upon-Avon, and Antony was just really great and did lots of things with us, and we also went to see a play at one of the RSC theatres in Stratford, so that was really good fun. So I'm just going to read my poem, which is from my forthcoming collection called About Blank, and it's coming out next month. And it's also really excitingly, I got a Literature Project Award. Sorry, I know I'm talking too much. I'll start in a second. But the piece has also been adapted into this audio immersive piece. So there's like music and sound effects, and we've got actors, Olwen Ferrer and Owen Rowe, who are reading it, and Paula McGlinchey. And so, yeah, that's coming out in the Dublin Theatre Festival, and that starts September the 30th and goes on to October the 17th. So this is actually the last poem in the collection, and it's probably the most straightforward piece, really. I'll just read it out. The Great Friend. In the autumn of 1244, a young Muslim scholar of Konya met a new arrival who'd been traveling throughout the Middle East. This stranger put a question to the scholar. It remains one of the great mysteries. Whatever the question, the young scholar lost his breath and fainted. When he came round, the two talked and became locked in a stream of endless dialogue. Inseparable, they spoke for days without human need, like two musicians riffing, each one taking over where the other left off, in a state of pure discovery. Late one night, mid-discussion, the friend went to attend a knock at the door and didn't come back. The young scholar fell silent and vowed never to speak again unless his great friend returned. He had fallen into what is known as the deep well of meditation, the narrow tunnel of mortal contemplation. For months, not a word passed his lips. Then, on his darkest night, he looked up and let out a savage howl. As he screamed, he found a new voice forming. The next morning, he headed to the market square and began to speak. Poetry and parables poured out. You are the sky my spirit circles in. My soul is from elsewhere. He started to sway and, outstretching his arms, whirled around, spinning between foodstools, weaving teachings out of chickpeas, forming fables about burnt kebabs. A large crowd gathered. Some started to swoon and dissolve into laughter. Others moaned in ecstasy and cried. One young man began writing his every word down. The Konya scholar had lost all simile and became the thing itself, the lover, the beggar, the parched earth, the unfurling flower. He continued, turning into the small hours, his great friend returning through him, a mute moon smiling in the wings. And I just want to say thanks so much to Paul Casey. Thank you. Thanks so much to Paul Casey, who for me made it all possible, and just for all the work he's done over the years with Ó Bhéal and everything else. So thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Adam.
That was brilliant, Adam. A really nice reading. I can see how that would work good in the theatre. Some nice bit of storytelling going on. Thanks so much for sharing that with us. The great thing about this is, like, obviously me and Paul sort of edited the poems. We both seen all the poems, but we don't know all the poets. So I'm putting like faces and voices to each poet. So it's really nice to do.
Yeah.
Cheers for joining us, Adam.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Yeah.
Mate.
We didn't meet in Coventry, did we?
No, I was quite a recent one. I was 2019. So maybe at Ó Bhéal. If you were at Ó Bhéal, we might have done. But no, it's nice to meet you now anyway.
Yeah, Adam, you were 2014 actually.
Was it 2014? Yeah, it's like that. Okay. Yeah. Great stuff. Yeah, no, it's great. And excuse me looking so red. I'm just out of the bath. I can see I'm like red as anything.
Fresh and clean poets, that's what we like.
Clean as a pin.
Can we welcome up next a big fire and just welcome for Colm Scully, please.
Thanks, Rafe. You can hear me. I'm not sure. I think I was before that, Adam. I'd say I was 2012. I was reckon, or 2011. I was over with Afric and with Jennifer Matthews, and you know it was a great experience at the time. I was only a couple of years involved in Ó Bhéal at the time, and you know it was great to go away with poets and read abroad. It was a fantastic experience. One of the highlights was Stratford-on-Avon. Again, I remember going to Stratford-on-Avon. I'd never been there. And another highlight was we went to the old street that's down in the city centre that was rebuilt after the war. And we went to a pub there, you know, one of the only streets that kind of predates the war. And I can remember getting a pint of Hobgoblin. I don't know, is that a local beer or not, but I had that, and I bought the glass. I was so impressed with the glass. I bought the glass, so I still use that glass at home here, and it reminds me of good times in Coventry. The poem I'm going to read is a poem called God's Footballer. I wrote when I was in my early 20s, which is a long time ago. And the reason I'm reading, I put this in the book was because I can remember Mal Dewhurst asked me to read it when we were over in Coventry because he had heard me read it online. Mal and Antony were the organisers at that time, and I just said I'd read it. It's a poem basically about when you're young. I wanted to be good at sport and soccer, but I wasn't. I was terrible. But I suppose I was just wondering what would I be good at, or looking for something to be good at, and it's called God's Footballer. Will all the players play again in heaven who played that day upon the Farnet pitch? Will those who scored that day be scorers even when life's long sun has reached its final ridge? And at the back, will I as yet be stationed, too dull a touch to form a strong attack? Although my skill is weak, my heart is patient. Through life I seek, what in my youth I lacked. Will they be there? The boys who picked the teams, still picking teams and playing two up front. I see myself and my deluding dreams among them. Players, player of the month. Skill shows no fairness. Glory always came to those whose left foot made me look a fool. Will God pass me the ball on my last run, or leave me out, just like he did in school? Thanks, Rafe.
Another excellent reading. Cheers for that, Colm. Yeah, I just put in the chat about Hobgoblins. I don't know how local it is, but I do like it. But yeah, we've got two breweries right in the city centre now, like Coventry Brewery. So you'll have to come again and try a few more beers. Be good to have you. Thanks so much for that, Colm. So we've had two court poets. For the next one, we're going to welcome up a Coventry poet. Can we welcome up Antony Owen, please? You're on mute at the moment, Antony.
We got the power. Right, sorry. Colm, Hobgoblin was illegal, so a bit awkward.
It was illegal.
What are you joking? Anyway, my poems. Basically, I was involved in the Coventry scene with Cork for a while with Paul, and you asked me to try and remember something from the exchanges, and I remember my wife traveling with about 6 poets in this little cotton blue van, and it was our anniversary, and all the poets in the van bought us this bottle of beers, which was nice, and they were all sort of cheering for us, which was really nice. And then a couple of days later, Joe said, I can't sit in a van with 6 more poets any longer. So we called a mate and arranged a trip to meet her in Dublin, and they had a few drinks, and we ended up in Belfast. The final reading, we toured all around Ireland. It was amazing. So Paul's done an amazing job over the last 13 years. I mean, that's more than one generation. So yeah, my poem's called If Boris Johnson Had a Cuppa with My Nan from Willenhall. It's in my book Cov Kids, which is probably the lightest collection I've ever written. It's a love letter to my home city of Coventry. It's not very good news for Boris Johnson in this poem, I'm afraid. It was one of the winners of the Working Class Award for British poetry with Bread and Roses. And it's just been featured in the Morning Star, but I'll read it out. And this one's for my nan, and I want to dedicate it now actually to Leanne Bridgewater, who's no longer with us, a fantastic Coventry poet, and also another fantastic poet that's no longer with us that probably would have gone on the exchange at some point, which is Samantha Hunt. And I also want to say hi to Janet, who's with us. She's one of my favourite poets. So anyway, here goes. If Boris Johnson had a couple with my nan from Willenhall. I picture Boris arriving at my nan's with a spray of daffs from Esso. She'd nail off the price and thank him with the oil of her lips. This is not a fair trade, for my nan was a street buyer. She'd offer him a seat, the only one, and she would sit on the ottoman. He would crack a joke about Turks and she would laugh at him. She'd laugh at him every time he spoke and when he did not. My nan would offer him broken biscuits from the market and he'd decline. She would break open the family circle box and offer him the best. He would decline. And war would be declared now that they're open. You come in my fucking house with limp dick daffs, sit on my dead man's chair, quip racist jokes, turn your nose up at my broken biscuits, you flopsy fucker. You let me open the good stuff and let the air get to them, you ungrateful son. Those daffs are your policies. Those broken biscuits are Brexit. That ottoman is Britain stuffed with different colours with whites on the top. And that tea was from Amritsar. And it will stain your teeth like bullets, fop-haired men like you gave orders to fire. Boris Johnson had tea with my nan, there'd be anarchy in a teacup. Cheers.
Love that one, Tony. Yeah, you don't mess with the family circle box. Come on.
They're not even the chocolate ones, are they? No, but carry on the good work. It's amazing, like to see, how many different poets have been exchanged over the years. And I mean, I remember when President Higgins was over, and Paul will remember it as well, when we got to meet him, and he said he made 3 points about 3 organisations that he recognised as making a pivotal difference to Coventry over the years, and he mentioned the Coventry Poor Poets. That's quite something. You know what I mean? So credit to Paul and that for you doing most of the work. Anyway, that's it. Cut me off now.
Cheers for that, Tony. No, it's definitely a beautiful thing. It's like it gives poets some hope that there could be a trip where they get to meet other poets from a whole other country. For myself, I hadn't even been abroad in like 15 years. When I got to go, it was a real big deal, and it was so beautiful to visit the city and meet other poets. It's a really valued thing in Cov. Can we welcome up next the poet who went last year virtually, and we'll hopefully get her there in person one day soon, Emilie Lauren Jones.
Hello. Oh, it's so nice to be here. What a lovely gathering of poets from 2 really special places. I had such a good welcome last year. The only problem with your very good welcome is that because I feel I went to Cork, even though I didn't really, and have accidentally on several occasions mentioned that I've been there when I haven't. I've never even been to Ireland yet, but I look forward to one day going to it, because I saw so many photos, I heard all the stories, and my favorite bit about it was just meeting the wonderful community of people you have there. I've stayed in touch with a number of you, and I feel like it's almost a second home, even though I've never been, because I've got so many Facebook friends there. I hear about what's going on. I got excited when your arts festival got a mention on Radio 2 a couple of months ago. I was like, oh, Cork. So I do hope one day I will get to see it for real instead of on a computer screen. And we're told to do a little introduction about ourselves. So I'm obviously a poet, and the most exciting thing for me at the moment is I am artist in resident at Central Hall, which is the big church one of the big churches in the centre of Coventry, and I've got lots of events going on that are all free because we got lots of funding. And if you don't want to come for the events, come for the food, because we've got Arabian Bites food, also free. So I'll put a little plug to that in the chat afterwards. It'd be great to see some of you there. Obviously a bit further to travel if you're from the Cork side of the exchange. So this is my poem, Things We Decide Are Beautiful, and it was inspired by the Lampedusa cross, which came to Coventry Cathedral as part of City of Culture for a few days. So yeah, here we go. If saltwater sodden bodies thrash towards shore light, lungs gulping, muscles burning, screams reaching land first. If splintered promises are pulled from the frothing mouth of the sea and faded layers of paint rubbed smooth by strangers' prayers. If misshapen limbs of an overpriced, under-maintained raft can be bandaged, set in place, held up and declared beautiful, then why do we hide the empty vessels of our fellow humans in unwanted rooms? Offer them nothing but tinned food and spare coat hangers to hold the peeling layers of their stories. Thanks for putting tonight on, to the organisers. It's so lovely to be here, and it's a beautiful anthology. So great to be part of it.
Lovely reading, Emilie. Cheers for that. That's a poem that was probably topical at the time, and it sadly seems like it's always going to be topical, especially at the moment. So, but it's real powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we chose it because it just spoke. It was very relatable. Cheers, Emilie. Can we welcome up next a poet from Cork? We're back to Cork. Michelle Delea, please.
Hey everyone. Hi. Oh, got a clap already. There's no need for that. How's it going? I didn't realize I met so many of you until I saw your faces on Zoom, and there's a lot of familiar faces, so it's great. I went on the exchange in 2018, I think. May have been 19. Sorry, it's all a haze. And yeah, memories of Coventry. It was I suppose like there's a few things kind of flicker. There's kind of different memories like wrestling each other in my head. But I think what it was is if I'm in a new city, I tend to try to find like the center of it, or what I think is the center of it. So, first we visited St. Michael's Cathedral, and I just was totally blown away. And I thought this is the center. And then the following day we were looking for some vegan food for Ali Bracken, who I was traveling with, the other poet. And we found this little van like right in the middle of the main street with this like coolest chick ever serving up like really tasty food. So we went back to her like 5 times, like we became her best friend. And then I thought, this is the center because this is where I'm getting fed. And then on the last night we ended up in the bookshop and the poetry reading, and I thought, oh no, yeah, actually this is the center. So I'd be interested to see what the Coventry people think is the center of your city. But I'm going to go ahead and read my poem now. It's called Double Room to Rent in Cork. In the photo of the bed at the awkward angle, with the lamp clicked on in the corner, there's a poster of the world on the wall, the one with the golden countries you scratch tediously with a knife, coin, or dried up biro. North America appears totally conquered. Southeast Asia too. A train line tore through Europe at a speed that left some peels wedged in the skirting and carpet below the border of the map. Though it's been hoovered today, even the windows have been opened. Lemon walls and pine boxes, their corners dulled with clouds of damp. The tenant in the doorframe, wishing to push the walls apart. Thanks everyone, and thanks so much again for the publication and the event.
Cheers for that, Michelle. I bet the lady running that vegan store was very happy to see it. Yeah, it was definitely 2018 he came, because I was really gutted. I didn't get to meet you and Ali because I was working on a spoken word thing at the theatre, and the dates clashed. It was really good, and I hadn't missed any of the other ones. So it was so nice to actually meet you on the Zoom. Hello. Yeah, thank you for your poem.